Thank you. All right. Now that you have done some exercise, you are perspiring, you are sweating, dah berpeluh sikit, jiran you mungkin badan berbau sikit, jadi pakailah mask. Yes. Very brief.
Yeah. I just want to add something. I posted a video of the chair exercise on my website, Seniors Allowed, and it received close to 2 million views. 2 million views. So Puan Kasuma has now become a celebrity on social media.
Itu dia. Warga emas peneraju. Okay, we are almost at the end of this conference. We have only 2 segments left. These are the purpose of the whole conference today. Okay, Datuk Sun, are you ready or you want to have your coffee first? Okay. Right. Now, earlier on, we talked about the working together of the NGOs, the civil society organizations, and the third age community. A group of them have actually been meeting informally, and they've had a few meetings. And for this segment, the representative will update us on what they have discussed and maybe even propose what they see as the way forward. So I'll let him settle down first. By the way, are we back on live stream, yeah? Are we back on live stream? Yes, okay, yes, we are back on live stream. So to update us, you have met him earlier on. Welcome him again, Datuk Sun from NASCOM. Tepuk lah.
Thank you very much. You see me again. As MC had mentioned, there is a group of NGO that I think we have met twice, and we have come to some proposal. That's put me as a proposal stage for all of you to look at it and consider. And then we will have a working group to look further how we actually can establish the coalition. All right? So you have to bear with me first on a few earlier slides. Actually, Mr. Chia is supposed to do this thing. So he asked me to help. I try my best. Okay? Well, I had to introduce NASCOM and myself a little bit. I have mentioned NASCOM before. We are very fortunate. We are actually a very much united front of senior citizen clubs and associations. I want to go to the background a little bit. 1990s is the era where you notice that there is concern about aging population. All right? Earlier, there's not much of an issue. NASCOM was found in 1990. I understand GERM was found in 1991, all right? And USIAMAS is formed in 1992, something like that, all right? The one that we have a long history is MPKSN, all right? MPKSN formed from the Central Welfare Committee during even the British time, all right? And then they evolved into called MPKSM. So the concern about the aging population, I think is in the last 30 years or so. Why come back to the same thing? Okay, just repeat what I say. I represent NASCOM in the National, Advisory and Consultative Committee or board under the Ministry of Women, Family, and Community Affairs. All right? And, but unfortunately, this board only meet once a year. All right? So what we say after that next year, a lot of things are forgotten. But a lot of major decisions are made by the board. And I did mention to you, consider changing the senior citizen age from 60 to 65. All right? And those of you involved in aged care also know that there is a new act by the Ministry of Health, all right, on this Aged Healthcare Facility and Service Act, which actually has been passed by Parliament, but yet not yet gazetted. All right? So these are some of the important issues that we I'm fortunate that I'm associated with HealthPage, and we have a chance to meet up with the Senior Citizen Clubs Association over Southeast Asia and Asia. This is forward. This is what they say forward.
It has to be the one behind.
Oh, it's opposite direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to repeat this. You go straight to the report. Go straight to the report. It is the opposite direction.
Okay, okay. All right. So as I mentioned, major challenges facing the senior citizen community. We have financial security, social well-being, medical and long-term care, and I use the word enabling environment, right? Including age-friendly city, infrastructure, and so on. Okay, we come straight now to the coalition that we have proposed. We have, I say the formation, I think one group met on August 26th at the framework of friendly city and community, and then we have 2 meetings. All right, this is a group of people they make on August 26th, all right, at the, we have 13 of them, and I think this remains the core of the working group, all right, 13 of them. And then we have the second meeting chaired by Mr. Chia, and these are the people that are present during the meeting. Mr. Chia, of course, you know, Dr. Molly Chia is GEM here. Fong Manto, I think H-Corp Fong, and then Zuriati is NESCOM secretary, she can't make it today. Peruma, yes, good. And then Olivia Kwa, NCAS, Olivia, yeah. I saw your president just now, all right? And Phenomena, of course, she is, of course, around somewhere. Okay. After a discussion on this coalition, it was agreed that a coalition of civil society organizations on aging to be formed. Whether you call it NGO or CSO doesn't matter, all right? NGO, CSO doesn't matter, a coalition to be formed. And for a coalition to be formed, we must share some common objective, all right? What this coalition intends to do, intends to achieve. And these are all associated to represent the older people community on matters related to their welfare and well-being. I use the word older people. I think in other countries they use older person or older people. In our country, you use senior citizen, right? Okay? to promote inclusive, healthy, and productive aging among older people in Malaysia. This is in line with the government policy, they call active and productive aging. All right? To ensure older people live in a secure, dignified, and then meaningful life devoid of neglect, segregation, and discrimination. I think there are a lot of problems associated with the living condition of older people in this country. All right? As I mentioned to you earlier, when the SOP come out, you are 60 and above, you cannot do this, do that. To me, it's a form of discrimination. All right? You can complain to the Human Rights Commission that because of your age, this is age discrimination. But the government do have good intention, I agree. All right? But then we should not be treated as weak, frail, and sickly. All right? Then the last point is to work closely with government agency, corporate body, and other civil society organizations on issues related to welfare and well-being of the older people. All right? It's not that we are just standing alone. We are living in a society with many other organizations. It is our purpose to work with them. All right? Corporate body, government as well. All right? So that to promote our welfare and well-being. The issue of including government agency, education institution, corporate organization were also discussed. But then we feel that, especially for corporate organization, their objective is quite different from what we have. All right? The ultimate aim for a corporate body is profit making. All right? But we do suggest that they may be considered in a special category of membership that allow them to take part, all right, but with no voting right. I want to categorically say that whatever is said here is just a proposal for you to consider, all right? If you feel that you need to amend or you feel that what is up to you all to decide, all right? This is not the sort of final version. But then we hope to be able to have, if not consensus, majority to agree to this. All right? So for me, the main role of the coalition will be advocacy. All right? We talk to the government, talk to whoever they are interested, what are our intention. Advisory, all right? Give advice to the government regarding older people, all right? Consultative as well. The government want to implement certain thing or whatever program you have, you consult us, we give you the view representing the older people. Education, outreach, promotion, public relation, and services, all right? So these are the things that we intend to do. If you think of additional things that we should do, of course you can put it in. So it's very short, my presentation, but we have 30 minutes for this. So I would like to get my committee member, people who are there, whether they want to add something or, I see right in front of me, Manto, you want to say something? Okay, Can we share mic? Okay, no problem. You share the mic. Spray. Okay, he will give you another mic.
Okay, thanks, Dato'. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Manto. I'm the National Secretary for Age Corp. I was representing my president, Darren, who was back in Sungai Petani on that day, so I was represented during the two events on the second and third meeting. And I'm also the KL Selangor chairman for the Age Corp committee. So on my own, okay, I'm also, I just want to say, what I'm saying is going to be linked in what I'm going to continue. I'm also the COO of Jasper Lodge, and I am also a consultant for people who want to start homes. Now, this is where we want to add on. I think we talk about many things, and this is not cast in stone, but I think one of the few things that we mentioned is that we want even all inclusion of NGOs, charity, and business organizations to be inside in the form of association, like RADA. Because one of the things we want to talk about is one association to be inside is because association is governed by an ACTA under the what you call Registrar of Society Act. And each association will have objectives being cast in a constitution. And from there, we can work with each other because we can understand and see you properly, who you are. And from the constitution, we understand is that your objectives. Now, can business come in? Yes, that's for sure. Because we cannot wait for government to solve our problem. We need businesses. And that is where I just now mentioned my two parts. Now, I have my business side. I have my H Corp side. And I would rather come in under an association side because our objective is very clear. But when you talk about my business side, yes, it's definitely profit and loss, and my stakeholder will be my shareholder or my client. But as an association, H Corp are founded on 4 principles, objectives. 1, engagement with government. 2, development of a self-governing of our operations. We also talk about setting up and managing getting everybody licensed. And 3, we talk about human development. So on anything to do with aged care. So one of the reasons we do that is because we want it to be start on the right foot. We can foresee that this is going to be a journey, which I agree with most of the panel who say we start off slowly. I can foresee there will be a lot of argument, but I think just like marriage, this association, for this new coalition to work, is like a marriage. But unlike a marriage, it's sweet in the beginning, after marriage we argue. Here, what we would like to see is that we argue first before we get married, but once we get married, it's sweet. So I think that is where one of the things we would like to do. We would like to argue it out, do it properly, so when whoever comes in, we have a sweet marriage, well, as sweet as possible, we still fight, but the thing is that once we fight it out, as an individual, with our ideas, as corporations, with our ideas, all are welcome. Because aging is a big thing. The spectrum is this wide and this high. No one here sitting in this room has all the solutions. We need all the help we can get, whether it's corporate, business, charity, people, government. And everyone will contribute to the aging of the society. I want to share with you my first experience of aging. When I first arrived in England, 1987, I studied in a university in Bournemouth. And in Bournemouth is a retirement town in those days. And they have, in the small little town by the beach, it is a warm place. They have no less than almost 200 nursing homes. Nice and bad. My experience is this. I saw this lady sitting on an electric, like a golf buggy, but smaller, who traveled 3 kilometers to the city center to do shopping. She drive on the middle of the road. On the middle of the road, car stopped for her. She stopped. She go for shopping. She drove the whole thing into Marks and Spencer's. Then they go into Safeway to buy food. And after that, she ride the whole thing back to her house, where she can actually enter into her apartment and park the thing right outside her house. That is what, in my mind, I said, wow. If I reach a stage where I can move like that, and that is where we need the community. And we need people with development experience. We need people with care experience. We need research. We need advocacy. We need conferences like this. So I think I'm very excited about this whole coalition because truly only together as business, as NGO, and with government support, and with experienced people here, and all the Gerontological Association, and all the senior association, I think we can move this forward together with the business. So I hope that I add on to that, and that this is going to be a journey. Don't rush. we will fight before we get married. Thank you.
Thank you. I give everybody on that meeting a chance. Dr. Molly, you represent GEM. You want to add something, say something?
Yeah. Listening to the objectives of what you presented, basically, I think they refer to the individual organization's objectives. If you look at the coalition, the purpose of the coalition, I think first of all, you need to have a vision statement. That's number one. And secondly is that you need to define a mission statement for the coalition, not for the individual organization. For example, services should not be done by the coalition, okay? And third point that I wanted to make is that you have to develop some kind of principles that every member organization follow, so that there's no quarrel, otherwise you say that there's quarrel. So, you know, that you can accuse individual organization of dominating and so on and so forth. Therefore, there should be a list of principles you go by. And of course, the objective, I call it goals, okay? Yeah. So what I have done is, initially after the meeting, the focus group discussion of last year, whereby those who were present at that FDG stated that, look, perhaps we should look at a model that is already in existence in Malaysia. I happen to be involved with the development of the Malaysian Council for Tobacco Control, which is an association of associations. It's like a coalition, okay, which involve universities, private sector, and so on and so forth, so long as there are no conflict of interest by those private organizations. So I took that as a model to provide a basis or a model for doing that. Okay, now I can read out what
Dr. Molly, time, we only have half
I
an
thought we
hour.
are discussing. Can we discuss?
No. I want to give other people a chance to say something in the committee. Peruma
Okay, that's
is
what
here.
I need to say,
Olivia.
is that there should be a mission statement.
Can you finish?
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
are you limiting what I'm going to say?
Yes. Okay. We have to ask her to stop. Peruma, you were there. You want to add? Almost done. I have now. Huh?
Thank you, Dato'.
Almost done. Huh?
My representation is actually for those have-nots. I have visited Terengganu community where they cannot afford a place for the older people. So some of the youngsters, they just left their parents in the old fishing village. When I visited them, there's nobody to take care of them and so forth. So when I was in the Rotary Club in Port Dickson as a president, we can see people on the 5-foot-way of the shops sleeping overnight. They got no place to stay and so forth. So we started a home in Port Dickson to get all these people who are on the 5-foot-way at night, and we asked the police to catch them and then put in their homes. That's how we started our old folks home in Port Dickson for those people who really have nothing to pay for their food and so forth. That's how we started. So when this organization called me, my point is we have the rich ones, they can afford it. Those who cannot afford it, they will go back to the streets and so forth and start begging and so forth. And being staying in Port Dickson, it's the tourist area where all come down over the weekend, they spend their things, and they see these older people at night just on a 5-foot way. It looks an eyesore. So we cleared that. You come to Port Dickson now, you cannot see people begging. That's why we started. So based on this, we got to identify the have-nots also in the community. They are also aging, and we need to look after it. I'm not younger, but I got to look after them because future we need to
Okay,
educate
thank you,
them. Thank you.
Paruma. Anyone else before I close this? Time's up, is it? Okay, I conclude very simple. Our proposal is to have a coalition of civil society organization, NGO. We do have a place for corporate body who are interested to be an affiliated member or so on. What Manto say is, if, for example, HCOP or RADAR, all right, you are not a company. You represent your HK group of people. So you are, in a way, not profit motivated, all right? And for us, it can be part of our coalition, all right? But we will not, our proposal, take in individual member from you. Say, because the individual member want to recruit your resident and all that, all right? We do. There is another proposal, I don't want to say from who, to include corporate body, to include university, to include government agency. To me, then there is no common objective. Sorry to say, it looks like a project to me. All right? So you all decide. All right? It's up to all decide whether it is a coalition interested in the welfare and well-being of the senior citizen. All right? Or you want everybody in. Up to you. All right? Then what is the common objective? I want to make money, you want to do services, another person want to do advocacy. What is the common thing that this coalition want to do? I don't know. I put it back to you. All right? So thank you very much for your patience to listen to me. Thank you. Chia, you want to? Okay. Thank you.
Whatever is it, my biggest concern, right? If we are not united, then forget about this coalition, all right? As simple as that. If we want to really, the whole purpose, I was there at the, when we first talked about it at the age-friendly city, right? Because we want to basically unite our voices of the different NGOs and all those, But if we cannot unite our voices, what's the purpose? We'll be a lot of firefighting behind. Instead of moving forward, we are moving backwards. We have to come up with a common understanding among all of us. Yeah. Yeah. So this, since I'm giving the opportunity, please let me speak. Yeah. Yeah. So you see, as you can see, it's already in a disarray. So how are we going to unite ourselves if we are in the disarray? Is that? So let's not fight. This is not the platform to fight. Please. Okay, it's okay. No problem. I can end my speech here, so-called. Thank you.
All right. We are now going to try.
Peter, can I have the floor now?
Can I just introduce?
No, I don't need any introduction.
The MC has the right of way.
No, thank you. It's all right. I'm done.
The MC has the right of way.
Yeah, you have the right. I'm done. Can I have my slides, please?
How can this be? This is too rude.
Yeah, I am. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is on live. There's on Zoom. I take off all my tags because I realized that plain speaking is what is needed. So we are going to have to talk about inter-sectoral coalition building. I want to thank Dr. Soon first and foremost for his gracious magnanimity in running the working group. I think we have wasted enough time, everybody trying to push their viewpoints. I think we heard it. All right, Dr. Molly, thank you. I think everybody has a chance to comment, not just the working group. I think that's important. So can I have the next slide, please? So why are we here? We didn't do all this just so that we can actually promote certain parties or certain individuals. We are talking about organizations. We are talking about public sector, private sector, and we are talking about civil society organizations. So, inter-sectoral collaboration, meeting purpose, meeting format. Right from the offset today, you can see where the lines are. But we are trying to explain to everyone that these lines are not real. Stop imagining that just because you are in a business, you are evil, you are only for profit. We agree. We totally agree with Dr. Soon's suggestion that this should be driven by civil society organizations, by NGOs. I think we all agree. We can agree. But don't start with the footing by saying that the private sector is for profit. Don't start by saying that the private sector is to make money, so they have different goals and different objectives. It is okay to have different goals and different objectives. It is also okay to say that I'm a social enterprise. I'm not just out for profit. There are many ways of doing things out there. I concur with Mr. Perumal. He has mentioned that we need to highlight social protection issues, poor elderly. I all concur. That is why your respective organizations exist. This suggestion of a collaboration is not to take away anything from your organizations. I need to emphasize that. Probably it is our fault that we didn't get more involved in the working group. Probably it's our fault for not explaining clearly what we hope can be achieved. Therefore, we start with all these quarrels. But I have one superpower. My superpower is that I like to offend people. That's my superpower. So my bosses are here. I think they all know how I'm like, so I really have to apologize. If you like to complain to UPM, you like to complain to my aging, you can do so. I think I have to face the music for being rude. There's no excuse for that. I totally agree. But I think it's time for us, if you want to achieve something, you have to break a few eggs. And the eggs we have to break is that all these politeness, forget it. It's all fake. If you want to do something, you start deciding now. Is it something that is in interest of my organization? That is what the coalition should be about. Don't talk about saving old people, saving young people, saving grandfathers. No. Ask yourself, do we need a coalition to help this society or organization to move forward? That is what we should be thinking about. I know your organization is saving elderly, protecting them, putting them in free homes. We are not arguing with that fact. But we are saying that different people have different roles. Older people have different needs. Not all of them are poor and sleeping on the streets. That is the issue here. So I would like to go on to the next slide. I don't want to go all this. You know, academicians, we will just share with you all the arguments that we have. When I talk to you, will you listen that this so-and-so fellow wrote in 2020 that this is how a coalition should look like? Nonsense. None of us would buy it. And you see a young man standing here and say, wow, what this guy, he doesn't know anything. When I first joined GEM, when I first joined the Institute of Gerontology, I miss one person the most, and that is the late Tuan Haji Said Barkat. He's from Usia Mas. It was 2004. My institute just had the first conference that we organized. I have stories too. And I asked Tuan Haji Said Barkat, there was only 4 NGOs on aging at that time, at the central area. I'm sure there are many NGOs in other states. But there was the 4 that gets the ear of the government. And the government always put them in the National Coalition, in the National Consultative Council for the Elderly, chaired by the Minister of Women. I asked Tuan Haji Said Barkat, I was much younger then. I said, why can't, the 4 of them just sit down and talk together, and maybe they can tell the government that they have different concerns or they have different approaches to the suggestions that they have. And Tuan Haji Saibakat told me, young man, you obviously do not know what other things are involved. So what are the other things involved? What's so great about all these other things? Personalities, parties that are dominated by one person until the day he dies. This is no kick to Dato' Lam Kim Tak. I interviewed him, I spoke to him, he's as passionate as he can be. But he believes that he has the sole vision to carry this forward. I don't blame him because he believes that's something he can do. But when I was working with Dr. Prof. Tengku to start AgeCope, I said, let's do something that GEM has. It is probably not in the best interest of GEM, it's probably not in the best interest of AgeCope, nor it is in the best interest of U3A. I think U3A KL Selangor will hate me for that. We set a rule that a president's term is 2 terms maximum. After that, that's it. NESCOM has a clause in its constitution. It has corporate members. It has corporate member structures. So why, when it comes to the coalition, we say, let's do this, but let's demonize the corporate sponsors. Let's demonize the corporate world. That doesn't have to happen. That's all I'm saying. Next slide.
Mr. Chia, what you say is not true. I'm NESCOM president for 8 years. We only have senior citizen clubs or association as our members.
True.
Corporate member. So
True.
don't simply say things that are not true.
You can check your constitution. It has a clause for corporate membership. Dato' Lam explained to me when he was doing it, he was...
I can bring a constitution up. You show me which part they have corporate member.
Yeah,
You cannot simply say things.
yeah.
I know custom anytime better, NESCOM anytime better than you.
Okay, so if that's the case, I apologize for saying that you have no idea about your own constitution. So, next slide. So what is inter-sectoral collaboration? Why are you worried about working with private sector? Everybody gets 1 vote. You think the companies cannot, they will actually outvote you because they have money? If that's the case, then just do whatever you have to do. Have a coalition that is run by NGOs. Have a corporate membership that has no voting rights, which is fine. I believe that's what all of you are proposing. And next, you said that we also don't want government. I hope that you all will include the government as well. Allow them to be in, allow them to listen to your complaints. And the basic premise is that each stakeholder have distinctive strengths and weaknesses. So distinctive strengths and weaknesses meaning that, yes, NGOs, altruistic motive and all that, but we all have strengths and weaknesses. That's all I'm asking for. Next slide. So if we are honest, if we are really honest, the questions that we should be asking is, how will this coalition benefit my organization, whether it's public, private, or civil society? That is the only reason why someone will join that coalition. Forget about all the helping elderly, all the altruistic methods. That's fine. But let's ask the honest question. Stop deluding ourselves from day one. Second question. Will the network or coalition serve a genuine collaborative purpose? We might not see anything significant in a short span of time. That's how coalitions work. When AgeCope started, how many members do you have now, Darren? Almost 200. How long have you been in existence?
4 years. Legally 2 years, 2.5 years.
Thank you. Public, private, anyone, registered, unregistered. You have your own structures to solve your problems of people with multiple chains of homes. Those are technical safeguards that you can put in your constitution. All right? What is the best way to work together so there's equity at the table for different entities, big and small? So I want to break one myth. I know everyone has been saying that we need a common purpose, we need a common goal. It won't happen. You talk about marriages. You talk about having not to argue later so that we argue now. Hasn't the political parties been marrying and divorcing? Aren't we learning from that? So let's not talk about having common purposes or common goals. Let's talk about having mutual interests that we can serve each other. We are not here to say that your organization is doing A, therefore this coalition will do A. We are not saying that. You are still the best that you do. NESCOM is excellent at what they do. If you are a senior citizen organization, please join NESCOM to strengthen your voice through NESCOM goals, through NESCOM's objectives. No harm done. JAM has its own goals. We are a professional body trying to figure out how to solve the unprofessional part. But we are solving it. Join JAM for a different purpose. Join MSGM, the Malaysian Society for Geriatric Medicine, for a different purpose. They have a requirement. If you are a geriatrician, you can join. If you are a registered nurse with training in geriatrics, you can join. You set your own bars. You set your own limitations. Don't set it on others. That is my issue here. Next slide. So meeting purpose is actually the event purpose. We don't have to go through them. Next. We only have 2 things to do. Can we agree? I'm just asking for a very simple question. I'm not asking about whether it's called National Coalition, Malaysian Coalition. The one we can answer in the poll. You all can decide later on. The first thing we all should decide is, do we need a National Coalition on Aging? That's it. National here being meaning from all different states, from all sides of this country. Whether it is national, state, local, that's what national means. If you all want to say it is private sector only, public sector only, or civil society only, you all sort it out lah, you know. I'm only saying that we need a National Coalition on Aging. You all are here today. We are trying to ask you to decide if this is something you want. That's all. If you don't want, we are fine. All right? We are not saying you must have it. We are not shoving it down your throat. But if you want to do it, next consensus, please. How can we have a functional structure? How can we have a representational structure? You cannot come here and tell me and say, I want a National Coalition on Aging, but it has to be apple and pear shaped, without asking everyone else. Let us take this opportunity to decide, if you all agree to have a National Coalition on Aging, how do you want to realize it? Shall we turn everything again back? We ask with humble request, with all politeness and due respect, that the working group will take it up. Or we say that we form our pro tem committee today through a voice vote or through a nomination. You don't want any election? Also fine. Dr. Rahima or anyone, can I have the next slide and also the polling? So this is the meeting format that we were supposed to have. I'm sorry, I took up also half an hour. So first, take turns to hear from the floor on the proposal or other ideas from the floor. You all can say you agree, you all can say you disagree. This is not about individuals. We are here to represent organizations. The president will not be there forever. The treasurer will not be there forever. If your association is committed to it, it has to be renewed again and again. You can pull out and disagree. Anytime you don't like the coalition guy who's handling it, just tell him to go fly kite. That's fine. Human nature. Next slide. Please introduce yourself and the organization you represent. Oh, previous slide. Feel free to share opinions. We welcome any off-tangent ideas, but we want to explore the way forward. You think this thing started in August last year? It didn't start 3 years ago. It didn't start 5 years ago. If I were to trace it, the first talk we had was actually with Usia Mas way back in 2004. We did explore it with NESCOM before. This is many talks that we had. Dr. Molly, you mentioned that in 2000 plus, there was also a talk about a network. So this is definitely not first time. I'm not young and I knew all that. And trust me, I can be here again in another 20 years if I'm still alive. And I bet we'll be talking about exactly the same thing over and over again. So can I have the polling question? So if you have seen on your table the QR code in blue, respect the democratic process. We turn it all back to you. We have said our piece. Go back to the previous slide. Is it time for a National Coalition on Aging? If you say yes, you have 3 options. Notice that I've all said it's based on NGOs. I didn't omit any option from NGOs. NGOs is always there, all right? The second option is NGOs and businesses. Maybe you don't want the government for some strange reason. And then you say, yes, NGO, businesses, and government agencies. How you want to sort it out? I'm sure you already have plenty of ideas. And the last one, no. There is no need for now, because want to maintain harmony, want to maintain goodwill among all mankind. Therefore, we don't need to have a national coalition. Well, I'll be frank. Dato Sun says there's no difference between NGOs and CSOs. I beg to differ, but I think universities, we have the Malaysian Aging Research Network. We are fine. If you guys do not want us, we'll always work with anyone who comes up from these organizations. I think I speak on behalf of my aging by confirming that whoever who leads any organizations of the coalition, like what we promised U3A, like what we promised HCOP, we will always work with you. That's all I can say. Next. No. We are not having the vote, don't worry. So go back to the previous slide on the National Coalition on Aging meeting. So now I would like to ask everyone to take the floor. I think I better pass this mic to someone else. And
things don't seem to be going well then. I mean, it is very obvious, right? Yeah. No, I mean, with all this, cutting people's speech off and stuff like that. All right. All I want to say is that if we are not ready, don't go ahead. Simple as that. No. So unless we are ready and our voices are united, then it makes sense, lah. Otherwise, it is, to me, personally, just my humble view, no go. That's all. Right, thank you.
We would like also to share the poll results just now. Can Dreamery share the poll results? Yes, there it is. Yeah, the blue one. You can still vote, and you can see live results being displayed.
Okay, since I'm doyen of the field in Malaysia, I would like to take over the meeting for a while to handle the issue. Because to me, as I graduated early in the 80s, when I see the field of aging is just not even there yet, okay? And it goes on, and now we have a lot of interest, a lot of organization building and taking interest in this area. And we felt, because in my presentation I told you, we started thinking about that earlier on with Syed Barkat, and officially we had it discussed in 2017 about having a national coalition, because at that time we felt that a strong body would have a direct interest from the government. That's how we developed HCOP. Because right now, I think Darren can share the view of why HCOP was developed and how effective they were during the CMCO. So I think that's the reason why, for this round of engagement, we are exploring with you all to whether there is a need for a coalition on aging or not. That's all we ask. Okay. If you all agree that we want to have a coalition, then we have to sit down together to establish the coalition. Of course, you have to have a pro tem committee to discuss about it, and then you have to have all the rules and regulations sets in, and then we will share with you all about that. And then only we will have the election, because all those things has to be approved by ROS if you want it to be an NGO and with all the parties involved. So this is the way. It's a process. It's a process. It is a democratic process. The idea earlier on was from us, and we sort of discussed that you all, the representative of the different bodies that was around the other day, to just sit down together and think about the way forward for this. So, and I think for us, it's an open discussion, but we see the benefit of this, because when HCOP was around, they were 2.5 years ago, and when pandemic came in, the government was looking for them to help, and they cannot reach 1,007 residential care centers in Malaysia. They just catch Darren, and Darren makes the connection. And it was easy also, even in the process of vaccination. They just catch Darren, and Darren passed those information to the members. And that's how they want to mobilize. Because as individual organization, residential care, the government do not have time to go to each one of you to register your residents, your carers, and things like that. What they want is they can mobilize you all so that they can do the delivery in a faster manner. So we were thinking that if we can think about, because we know there's so many organizations, and as I shared with you this morning, we have more than 500 ROS registered NGOs in aging. But still, our presence is not felt by the government. We have been in existence, me as a president of GEM, we have been in existence since 1991. But what effect do we have on the ground? Zero. Zero. Because why? All of us are working. We have NGO is our part-time. And then on top of our own work, we have this NGO. We are committed. All our members are committed. But we can't do it alone. As a previous director of the Institute, we also cannot do without you all. Because why? We are not on the ground. We are researchers, and we can only do proof of concept. When we do proof of concept, it is suitable and viable to do. We have to pass this to you all to do. Because we are not reaching on the ground. We're just in the university, same like UM. They cannot go on the ground. So with together working, we can deliberate this and extend it further. For example, we had a proof of concept of U3A. We tested U3A in 2007, and we created an NGO of U3A in 2008. And now they branch out, and we are free. We are just an advisor to U3A, and they can grow. You see? So that is our vision as a doyen in the field of aging in Malaysia. We feel it that way because 2030 is just 9 years to go. We need to act fast. We need to transform. If not, we have ourselves to blame for not being ready and not prepared to look at the aging issues. So I think that's the reason why we were thinking that there is a possibility of doing this national coalition. So that's my take on this lah. Okay, but to us, yes. Yeah.
Thank you for such, and knew for a long time. We thank you for such the idea of HCOP. Now, HCOP works because our goal is very common. Aged care operators, problems the same. Council.
Okay.
Our problems are the same.
Okay.
So we have a common goal, really common.
Okay.
Council problem, JKM problem, Bomba problem, Kesihatan problem.
Okay.
Okay. Of course, when we pull together, we deal with aged care or 24 hours care. We have staff problem. So our goals are very similar.
Yeah.
But yet, of course, Darren will tell you that we also face our own challenges.
we
we need
know.
commonality.
Yeah, we know.
So, like I said, I think the coalition is a good idea to move things forward. And I think the initial stage is we still need to iron out and find that at least the few common grounds to start with.
Right. Yeah,
Of course, the common grounds through the changes of the what you call the constitution later, we can always
Yeah, later,
upgrade and
yes,
move it
yes,
better.
yes,
So
yes.
we can always start small
Yeah,
with what
right.
we have
Yeah,
and
yeah.
go in and let, I think since we have a steering committee,
Yeah.
it's not a perfect committee, okay? I can
Yeah,
tell you this.
definitely.
Because we all have been entrenched in a situation of our past,
Yes.
our
yes.
experience,
Yes.
which is good and very
Yeah.
often it is not.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
I think as far as this we're concerned is I think we should look at it, take it step by step, move forward and see
Yeah.
how we go from there.
Yeah.
It's good to fight it out now. I
True,
totally agree. In fact, I'm very happy that you all fight it out now because then we know where the disagreement are. Then we look at the common grounds.
Yes,
Personally, I think this coalition is good
Yeah.
for the overall.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking forward because the SDG, the SDG methodology is inclusive, and it is the interaction. Yeah? Okay. Sorry. Yes, go ahead.
I have one comment only. I'm not going to argue, but I just want to say the position of NESCOM. All right? We are a federation of 40 senior citizen clubs and associations. We are very happy with what we are doing now. Only we are concerned with, as you say, aging population, 2030. All right? So we are fighting with the government to look into financial security, aged care, and so that. We are not benefiting from any of this that we say from here. We only want to get involved to make sure the elderly, poor, the senior people are really taken care by. Tengku said that if you are not ready, we will suffer. True. But what is the role of the government? The role of the government is most important, right? We elect them, they have all the money. You cannot say that the civil society take care of aging population. It is equally important for the government to, and then we have been pressing 2030, 2030. I don't know what has been done. So I want to clarify, NESCOM have nothing to benefit from here. We are only concerned with the people, all right? If you think you can, fair enough, all right? I'm not going to say that NESCOM must be part of it. If you have an objective which we subscribe, we will join you, we will fight, all right? If your objective doesn't fall into the objective of NESCOM, sorry lah, good luck to you, okay?
Thanks, Mr. Su. Any other
Can I
comments? Yes.
make a quick comment on an example?
Yes,
Real
yes.
Estate Housing Developer Association, REDA, is part of the Malaysian Development Council, which consists of the Malaysian Institute of Planners, Association of Engineers, Persatuan Arkitek Malaysia, Elam Landscape Architect, Shareda from Sarawak, Sheda from Sabah, I think. And together they form a coalition, like a coalition, but they call themselves Malaysian Development Council. The presidents of the respective associations are members, so there's one member per representation, and then they hold their elections, they vote, they take every year to vote among themselves. They obviously have common goals. Our common goals is to have efficient real estate delivery, make house price affordable, and so forth. So I think that there are few other examples that this coalition today can draw from to see how they bring together common interests, agree to disagree, and move forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, James. Any other inputs, please? Any other inputs? Any other, please? Anyone to say anything? Please, this is an open forum. Any others? Okay. Encik Abu Bakar. Okay.
Thank you. I'm looking at the coalition today. We must make a firm stand. Personally, myself, are very eager to look forward on this national coalition on aging. I think it's high time that we should be together. Together we're strong. Whatever differences we have, but the main point is that we are looking at the old people. That we are not living all the time, because ourselves also old people already. So we're going to set up a good platform for our children, our grandchildren. So on behalf of Persatuan Kebajikan Usia Emas Malaysia, I think we support today convention, or whatever they call it, forums, to form up a national coalition on aging. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other inputs? Thank you. Cik Abu Bakar. Any other inputs? If okay, silakan.
Hello, hi. I'm quite scared to say this because I'm fairly young, and I don't think I should have a say in this. But
No, you should. You should. It's your future.
yeah, when Chai asked somebody just now, do you think that we should have a ministry for aging? So I was thinking, okay, if we have a ministry of aging, when somebody reach that certain age, is that only when somebody should be taken care about them? But certainly aging starts. Aging starts when you are born to this earth, you know? You age to 1 year old, 2 years old, 60, 50, that is all aging. So we need somebody to take care of us in every level of our life. So it shouldn't be just focused on aging. So I think when elderly care is placed under the Ministry of Women, because I think JKM is handling that, so I think it's okay. That is somebody looking at this particular group. We know that not all elderly are weak, are frail, we know that. And even my company, Teman Malaysia, we are focusing on healthy elderly because so many people are focused on the sick elderly. Whereas there's a lot who are 70, 80 years old but still young, but still healthy, still strong. So I think that why we want to form this coalition is because we wanted the government to do something. We want the elderly ministers to be looking at us, to be looking at the elderly sector. So when we have one coalition that is made up of so many people, NGOs, university, corporates who are always looking at the best interests of elderly, then this government would know who to go to, who to ask for help, because this coalition is strong based on all the members that is available in the coalition. I think that is why it should be done. And with all the expertise, this coalition is going to make a change in Malaysia, I think.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So you all agree, Molly? Yeah?
I just want to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
Just 2 questions. One is that I've developed a vision and mission statement, and I want to find out if there is consensus on those vision and mission statement. Number 1. Secondly is that we have actually a WhatsApp group, whether those who are currently not in the WhatsApp group, would you like to be added to it so that the discussion can continue? Right now it's a very small group, only about 14 people. Okay? Now, the vision statement that I wanted to ask you all to whether there is consensus is that the vision statement should be, Malaysia is to be a nation where her older population will be empowered to have and to enjoy healthy, active and productive aging lifestyle through advocacy, research and evidence-based strategies. Okay? That's the vision statement that I've formulated. The mission statement should be that the Malaysian Coalition or National Coalition on Aging is the enabling platform for public, private, and civil society partnership, and to promote inter-sectoral cooperation and collaboration to improve the delivery of products and services for the older persons. These are this one. I went on to look at the goals, but you know,
Never
these
mind.
are the.
Thanks, Molly.
Yeah.
I think for today, we just need to agree whether you want to have the coalition or not have a coalition, okay? And from the voting, there is a majority of us present here would agree that there should be a coalition, okay? Next one is, we know previously there's already a pro tem committee, but very few of you, there's no pro tem committee? That's a steering committee. So now, can we decide then, on a volunteer basis, who would want to be in this committee to start off the coalition? Because this committee will be the working committee, the workhorse to develop the constitution, so that later on we will work together to get it registered, and then we have a voting, we will vote for the coalition to be who.
Businesses and government agencies must
Yes,
be
that
in.
I know,
Okay,
yes.
if they are against it, they should not be in the pro tem committee.
I think this is basically a vote for whatever you
For
want.
whatever you want for the coalition, yes.
So, but I think since you have a steering committee, I think you should add in those who want to join the steering committee.
Okay.
Let them have another meeting.
Okay.
Form the pro tem committee.
Maybe
No.
now the member of the steering committee is too few, so we need to have another added members into it. Added members.
I think Tengku, I must protest against this because it's not properly done. All right?
What do you mean by not properly done? There was a voting?
Yeah, how many people? Okay, fair enough. You think this is legitimate? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They represent the
And
people
pro tem
in
committee
here,
must
right?
must agree to it. If they don't agree, no point. Yeah.
Anu,
Yeah.
please. Anu?
Okay, thank you, Datuk Tengku, for assisting the discussion this afternoon. So I think Chai has explained very clearly the objective of this national coalition meeting, because we want to know everybody agrees or not to have this national coalition on aging. One thing that we know, everybody agrees. Not everybody, majority. So yes, I hope those who haven't voted, I think the system still open.
Yeah.
If you don't vote, then you cannot blame the decision of our meetings today. Okay? But we know I didn't vote because I tried my aging. We try not to be included in the decision. So it's clearly everybody agree on the formation of National Coalition on Aging. Okay, that is the objective, the first objective. And the second objective, I know there is a disagreement, big disagreement from what I can see between some people, they want only NGOs only. But some others feel they should have private, business, CSO and government agencies. So on behalf of my aging, we accept decision because we just initiate the discussion today. Same like what we did for U3A, I think it's good for the productive aging, lifelong learning. It works perfectly, successfully. And then we have HCOA, started in 2017. So we want to initiate this National Coalition on Aging. Of course, it's not easy work, it's hard work before everybody agrees, but that's why we have our meeting today, okay?
Can I just add that apart from that, the universities, because I'm really very keen on the universities coming in, because that's where all the research is, and we want evidence-based strategies to be implemented for old age. So is there any objection to including the universities?
This vote including our online participants or just physical attendees?
Belum lagi, because he did.
Only physical.
Can I
Yes,
just make
Chai.
a comment?
Yeah, because
Now,
that is done by Chai, but
I want to just say this. Yes, these votes are individual, but I didn't vote, you didn't vote. We all made a conscious decision that my aging should stay out of it so that the proper views of the associations can be ascertained. It's not perfect,
Yeah.
Probably we should register everyone's ID and all that. Do you represent your
What I
association?
mean is, if we include in
Yes,
universities,
Dr.
it's
Mali.
up to them whether they want to be a
I
member
totally
or not.
understand.
But at
I just
least
want
we
to
open
clarify
the door.
this.
We
Yeah.
open the door for them.
The
Yeah.
pro tem can decide. But I just want to say, if we can agree that we need a national coalition on aging, as you mentioned, I think that door, can we agree that it is agreed that we need a national coalition on aging?
Yes.
We can discuss how it will look like. You said under a pro tem structure or anything.
Yeah.
So I think first consensus can be closed because we have it already.
Yeah.
We have the first consensus. We need a national coalition on aging. We want a national coalition on aging.
It must be inclusive. It must
the
be
next
inclusive.
the next question we put up for today's meeting is, how do we make sure that this thing happens? Kata semua
How to
nak.
make it work?
Yeah, semua nak.
I don't know. I don't want. We just create. We just
Yeah,
agree,
and then
but
nothing
it doesn't
happens.
move anywhere.
It's a commitment. It's not.
Yes.
It's not an honor. It's a commitment. If you want it, you have to make it happen.
Yes.
Not my aging make it happen. UPM make it happen. UM make it. No. You make it happen. If you want it, you make it happen. I want to make this clear, because when we work with other organizations, other civil society groups, macam seolah saya yang nak, kita yang nak. Bongoklah kita kalau kita yang nak. It's not even for us. The associations have to decide. If you want it, you all decide how you look like. You have the first consensus. Now let's work on the second one. How do you want to move forward? That's the one I hope you can close today. We only have 5 more minutes.
So what is the next poll? Can we have? Mr. Mantoy, you want to
Yeah,
say
I think
anything?
I agree with Chai. It's going to be hard work, and I think whoever, whatever you want to agree upon is going to be the committee. You are going to work on it, and when we took over and officially start HCOP, the national, I tell you that our struggle is a lot of headache, and people query us left, right, and center, and they are still querying us until this day, in spite of all the good work. So I think you think through. Whatever your decision, okay, I personally believe in the national coalition, but I will have to think through whether whatever you work for, are you going to put your heart and soul into it, because it is a lot of work, and it is for good cause, but a lot of work.
I volunteer to take the lead under GEM, and those who are interested to be in the committee, in the pro tem committee, can volunteer based on the fact that they agree that it is going to be inclusive.
What should be the next one? Next poll?
Because if they refuse, then we will be fighting lah. You know what I mean? To whether what we put in.
Dr. Rahima is going to set up the screen, the next screen. So if you say, like just now, Usia Mas, we have your agreement to commit to a national coalition, you support it?
Yeah, in fact, we are ready as volunteers.
Yeah, so I can,
Move
with the
move.
permission of the president and also
volunteer
Dr.
as well.
Rohani, we have Jam there. Can we put Jam? Can we put Usia Mas? So I think Dr.
Keep the reality
Rahima,
on this
thank
program.
you. So Dr. Rahima will change the screen. She will share the screen that she has prepared, so we can list out the organizations.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Darren.
When HCOP started, when we were first formed like this today, like all of you today, in 2016, we only formally managed to get registered in 2018. September 2018. That's about 2 years later. Do you know why? Because the working committee, the pro tem, had so much to think about. And we had foreigners wanting to become, to be inside. They want to be the part of the committee. We had small issues. And we had the big boys, big companies who have branches all over the country. And we had the small, one auntie taking care of 7 old folks. So we have to think of everyone, and we have to make it fair. I'm not saying that today you all can get it done. No, you maybe even take 2 years down the road. So I'm not worried about how it will look like, because in the end, those who are hot for it, those who are want it to happen will be there all the way. So in the end, those people will be the one deciding how the constitution will look like later on. So you all arguing today, this one doesn't make sense to me, because in the end, the committee is going to decide how the constitution is going to be. And those of you who are fighting for something today, you may not be there for all the meeting. So it defeats the purpose. You fight today, but in all the meeting that comes, you're not there. So it won't work in your favor either. So please move on. Let the steering committee decide how it wants to be. Whether you want to involve university or not, we didn't get the universities involved, but universities researchers are helping us. We work in partner with them. So let the committee later decide you want the universities or not. Let them decide. Now we move forward. Because in the end, even though this is 0, in the end it may end up here. Because the people working on the ground are the one attending all the meetings, and they are the one decided this. And all the people who decided this today may not turn up for all the meetings. Very clear? So we move forward. Because in the end also, it may not look like this. Because our constitution didn't look like what it started first. And we had a lot of amendments subsequently. Very clear? Okay.
So is it okay if we stop until this stage, Dr. Rahima? I mean, where is Dr. Rahima? I cannot see.
He wants to write the names of those people who voted.
That means we want to proceed with the pro tem committee.
No pro tem tak boleh.
Steering committee. The current steering committee. But the steering committee will discuss, proceed with what we have been agreed today. Right? For now, yes. I think while we are waiting, so one thing, I just joined my aging 2017, okay? But one thing I realized, this will happen if you have patience, like Darren is doing. Okay, so when you have patience, doesn't matter, even though you have disagreement from anybody, any agencies, you will work that until you find a good solution at the end. So, we're waiting for the setup, HI. Organization only. So. So I think, can I pass the mic to Dato' ataupun Dr. Imam?
Okay, I think for the moment, wait, hold on, sorry. I think for the moment, because now for any one of the members to be there, they need to get the ESCO agreement, right? Because to represent an organization, you need to get the ESCO agreement. But those who, if presidents and the ESCO members are present here, then they can go out, okay? So because I understand that as an NGO, we need to get representation, we need to get the endorsement of our ESCO to be able to go up there. But maybe what you can do is, if you feel that you want to join, you can join, but saying to us that you will get the endorsement of your ESCO before we properly join the thing. But your intention is there. Okay, can it be like that? Subject to approval. Yes, yes. I think we do it the way. Okay, who wants to be in the steering committee? Just go. Molly, you can go on behalf of JAM. Chair Abu Bakar, on behalf of Usia Mas.
I think Reda will be member, but we won't be steering committee. We will let you decide my direction.
Okay. For the time being, there lah. Because we need to discuss the constitution, so you know. But you have to tell your ESCO lah. You have to get the endorsement of your ESCO. Okay, any other organizations? Seniors allowed? Lily, where are you?
Where is radar?
Radar, there. You through age, I'm done? Sila? Come, you through A. Okay, and anybody, any other? Lily, seniors allowed. Yeah, online go. Does not matter, but we're doing a coalition. Lily, you're doing a coalition here, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, 2 million views, you know. And myself, besides my wife and my daughter, nobody will.
Okay.
All right, Tunggu.
So I think that's enough. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine organizations represented here. 9. So I think that's big enough. NASCOM, the deputy president doesn't agree with the coalition. So we let it be. 9 enough. Yeah, come back there. So this will be, can you come closer so that we can take pictures? Okay. Then among yourself, you set the date for meeting and develop the bylaws or whatever. And then, of course, the process takes a long time. And we, as the institute, will support you all from behind. Okay? Okay, we take pictures first, and then we will like the online participants. They want to speak. So, okay. So all done? Bo, dah ambil dah? Okay. Saya? Tak payahlah. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. The online, hold on. The online participants wants to say something. The online participants. Yeah, they want to voice their concern also. Go ahead. You don't have it?
Yeah, wait, I open it.
Okay. Yeah, we have Cik Muhammad Azimi who wants to speak to us.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Cik Azmi. Silakan.
Assalamualaikum.
Ni dia punya ni
Tunjuk muka buah video on, Cik Azmi. Okey, Cik Azmi, silakan. Cik Azmi, silakan. Okey, sila Cik Azmi. Okey.
Ya, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm Muhammad Azimi Kasim from Pawai Putrajaya.
Okay.
As co-members, Aging Community Activity Center.
Okay.
I'm very excited to have the coalition on, and my proposal is very short. An aging senator to the cabinet, to the parliament.
Do you want to be in the steering committee, Jazimi? Because we
Yes.
just want. You want to be?
Can I be?
Yes. So we have 10 people then. So put on
Okay,
video. We take a picture and then we'll close this session. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, because we have our vice president on physical, and me as co-members online. So it's up to Prof.
No, it's not up to me. It is the organization, whether they want to be a member or not in this steering committee. It's not my choice. It's your own decision. The persatuan punya decision.
Okay, in that case, I'm okay to volunteer, but then
You will
I have
need
my
endorsement from your
chairman
ESCO,
and the
right?
vice chairman,
Yeah.
you see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand.
But thank you, Prof.
Thank
Thank you. You
you.
mentioned my name. But my proposal is a senator to the cabinet, aging senator to the cabinet of Parliament 2030.
Okay.
Malaysia aging countries. Thank
Inshallah,
you, Prof.
we will write into the PM for the senator post.
Thank you. If Datuk Ros Adiba as an OKU senator, where is the aging senator? Not the politicking senator, aging senator. Thank you, Prof.
We will do, inshallah. We will do. Okay, thanks.
Thank you all. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, done.
All right, thank you, Pro Tem Committee. You may go back to your seats at the table.